So I'm going to demonstrate how, after installing the Endnote library software, how you can use it to cite and reference your work. So perhaps it's important to confirm that after the installation of the software, if you check, or rather if you open your Word document, let me just open that. Basically, you should be able to see that the Endnote function has been added on. So if you watch carefully here, I have Endnote X7 added to appear within my Word. So it's very important to confirm that. Having said that, let me just close this. Yeah, so how do we cite? So there is a procedure that we need to follow. Before you cite, the first thing you normally do with Endnote is to create a library, which I mentioned briefly earlier on, but let me revisit it. So if you look at this folder, I have a library that has been created for the purposes of this demonstration. We are calling this file Endnote practice, and the accompanying data folder has the same name, but with .data added to that name. So if I open this library that we are calling Endnote practice, you will see that. Let me just expand that by clicking it here. I maximize. You can see that it is blank. So I want to populate it using one of the methods, that is through the existing databases, such as the Google Scholar. So I'm going to use the Google Scholar to populate this library. So how do we do that? We open the Google Scholar website. Let me just search that. Okay, yes, it's opening. Yes, we open the Google Scholar. It's a website, it's a database that contains several references such as books, articles, conference papers, etc. So if I open it and I want to export some, some references into my library. So assuming I'm working on gasification of biomass, my research is on gasification of biomass. Okay, there it is. I can see that we have about 485,000 references that are related to biomass gasification. So usually when you search, you get the total, the existing database for that particular area of interest. But I want to mention at this point that you are also free to filter based on the period within which you want to have your references. For instance, I can custom the range here to indicate that I'm only interested in the references from the year 2010 up to the year 2025. So I do another quick search. You will see that the total number of references appearing has dropped down, rather has dropped significantly, because I've filtered the period within which I'm interested. So at this stage, I would like to pick a number of articles and export them to the Endnote library. Let's look at this article called Modeling of Biomass Gasification, a review. This is a paper that was published in the year 2014, but I want to use it to carry out my literature review. So I click on this button here called Cite, then several options at the bottom appear. There's what we call BibTeX, there's what we call Endnote library, refman, refworks, etc. So we will restrict ourselves to the Endnote function, and I will click exactly that. Here, basically what we are doing is we are exporting. So if you are quite keen, you will see that there's a small file that has been downloaded, and in my case, it's gone to the downloads folder. This file, it's called Scholar. So I click on it immediately because I want to export it to the EndNote library. So or rather before I click it, I have to confirm that the name of the EndNote library, EndNote practice, is open, because sometimes you may have multiple libraries and therefore you may end up exporting to the wrong library. So it's important that before you export, you confirm that the library to which you want to export the reference is active and it is open. So going back to the downloads folder where I had downloaded the small file, it's called EndNote import file. So I double click it, and what do you see? Yes, it's added the reference to the library. The first reference is here with all the details and so on. So we can go back to the Google Scholar. So we just click close here, and then we can, or perhaps before I proceed, it is important that I also show you how you can attach the PDF file related to what you've exported. So you will need to click, or rather download the file. Download the file. Okay, it's yes, it's downloading. Yes, there it is. Then just a minute. Then you click download. Okay, the file goes to the downloads folder. In my case, I click source, open source folder, and if I refresh, I can see that this is the file that I've just added to the EndNote library. So I can just double click to confirm that indeed it's the paper on modeling and modeling of biomass gasification, a review. So what I want to do is that I want to make sure that within the EndNote library, I have a corresponding PDF file to this reference. So I click on it, you must click on it so that it's highlighted in blue. And then you will see an option here that allows you to attach a PDF file related to a particular reference. So I click on that, and then I browse, I click modeling, and then I say add. So here I have the PDF file, the full PDF file that is associated with this particular reference. It's good to organize it in this manner so that in case you want to read and paraphrase and cite, you have the access of both the name of the author, the names of the authors together with the corresponding file. So it's much easier. So I want to go back to the Google Scholar and probably add another reference, an overview of advances in biomass gasification. Again, I click Cite, then I click EndNote. There's another file called Scholar brackets 1. I can open it. It's now here. I double click it, and when you double click it, it exports directly to the EndNote library. So now I have two references, but I'll do exactly the same thing I did with the previous reference, whereby I want to add the corresponding PDF file to this particular citation or reference. So again, I click download, I say save. So this is a file, starts with C6 and so on. So it's energy and environment science. You can refresh. Just open it to confirm that indeed is a publisher, Energy and Environmental Science. But you could check the title to confirm that indeed it is an overview of advances in biomass gasification. So again, close it, go back to the Endnote library. We've already exported it, so we want to attach the PDF file that corresponds to this reference called an overview of advances in biomass gasification. So we browse here, we add it, then we can see that it's already been added. So far, I have 2 references. I'll go up to a maximum of 3 references for the purposes of this demonstration. And let me go back to Google Scholar. I can even scroll down and add this one more, a citation or reference. So again, I click Cite, Endnote. A file has been downloaded, the latest one. You can always check whether it's the latest one. So you double click on it. It's automatically exported to the Endnote library. Here it is, it's active. So the title is Biomass Gasification Technology, the state of art review. So I'll do the same. I'll add the corresponding PDF file. So I download it, and then here we are. There it is. Go back, I browse, and I attach the corresponding PDF file. So far, I have been able to create, in less than 10 minutes, I've been able to create a library of about 3 references.